welcome back to this week's video game book club. We are on chapters 7 through 9 of Uncharted, the fourth Labyrinth. So let's get to it. So we pick up with our crew as they enter the tore-up hotel room where Jada's dad was staying. It already looks like it's been picked clean. They are never going to find any clues here. Now they try to see if there was anything that they missed. They look everywhere. Jada lays down on the bed frustrated and remembers the last phone call that she had with her dad. He was talking about how loud the fan was. Was this his way of giving her a clue? They search the top of the fan and there is a note. It has the number 271 written on it. Of course he hid in another room, knowing quite well that there would be people coming for him and tearing the room apart. Now they just had to get into that room. It's back downstairs to bribe the desk clerk. They finally get the key and get in the room. Jada is frustrated with Sully for handling her with kid gloves and pulls a gun on him to let him know she is serious as hell. Nate thinks this turn of events is absolutely delicious and is having a giggle over the situation because he warned Sully not to be so overprotective and he didn't listen. She's not going to hurt him and Nate diffuses the situation with his smart-ass humor and makes Jada smile. They go for the air conditioning unit and lo and behold, there is a note. A shabby journal, and it says, "To whom it may concern, if you find this, please give it to my daughter," and her address is included. He has some notes to himself and some drawings of labyrinths, and he mentions honey a few times, but they don't know what it means. Nothing concrete, and they are left with more questions than answers. Scribbled on the note was, "Talk to Welch." Welch is Gretchen's brother. Gretchen from the museum. It has to mean something or he wouldn't have gone through all this trouble to hide it. Was Welch in on this or is he in danger? Either way is risky, but they set up a meeting with him nonetheless. They have to find out what it means. It's their only lead. They nervously drive to the meeting at the restaurant. They are so paranoid they want to make sure they haven't been followed. A car in pursuit would have been easy to spot on the vast open road. Not many Westerners around this area, and our crew is jumpy as hell. They see Welch and his table is well out of earshot of others so they can talk business. Welch's expression sobers them right up. He offers his condolences to Jada and knows about the incident at the museum. Jada tells Welch that they want in on the dig. Maybe they can find out what her dad stumbled upon and figure out why it cost him his life. They want to know about Daedalus. Jada's dad believed he was real, not a myth. Welch agrees that he was real, and the Labyrinth of Knossos was considered his greatest achievement. What you have to understand is that our current excavation, the Labyrinth of Sobek, essentially proves that the theory, the main place of Crocodilopolis, the Temple of Sobek, has been given for decades. But the Labyrinth is a separate structure not far from the temple. The Cretan Labyrinth at Knossos must have been the same. Drake shook his head. "Wait," he said, holding up a hand. "You're saying they never found the Labyrinth at Knossos? The one with the Minotaur? King Minos? The whole thing?" So Welch is going to break it down and tell us the truth. The dig, well, it makes a pretty persuasive argument that there's a separate building somewhere at Knossos. Not only that, but every day we're finding more and more evidence connecting the Labyrinth of Sobek to the Labyrinth of Knossos, and to a third as yet unidentified labyrinth. We found tablets with writing and markings in sacred chambers, most of them written in Linear B, that establish pretty firmly that Daedalus designed 3 of them, and Knossos and Crocodilopolis were 2 of the 3, not 4. Jada breaks out her dad's notes and tells him that he thought there was a 4th, but Welch doesn't think there is. He also asks him about the honey and the mistress of the labyrinth. This piques his interest. A tablet found during the original excavation at Knossos referred to the mistress of the labyrinth. Yes, there's the legend of the Minotaur, but set that aside for a second. The tablet told of honey being brought as an offering to the gods in the temple at Knossos, but it also said that worshippers brought some to the labyrinth as an offering to its mistress. She received enough to equal that given to all the other gods combined. But what was the significance of the honey? Welch thinks it was gold. Welch smiled and the 4 of them became conspiratorial again. We have evidence to suggest that King Minos of Crete and King Midas were one and the same. So Welch hasn't found anything in the dig that would be worth killing anyone over. They tell him to watch his back until they figure out what is going on. Welch leaves before the meal is over and is visibly upset. Sully starts to choke and then he tells Jada, "Girl, your stepmother just walked in." I'm paraphrasing. First of all, how did she know we were here? Now that she's here, she's crying and carrying on. Thank God you're okay and you're here. Jada is now falling for her nonsense. She is steely-eyed and furious. Drake thinks she is sincere, but can't believe it 100%. She then tells him that she feared for her own life after she heard about the way her poor husband died, and she took off to Egypt to find out what happened so she could be spared. If that was the case, why didn't she check on Jada just to see if she was okay? Jada wants to know how in the world did she find this. She said she went to the same hotel that her husband was staying at, and the clerk told her that someone else with the same name had checked in. She found out that they asked for directions to the restaurant, and she followed them here. Jada is not having it. She is not about to let Olivia sit down with them at the table and talk about it. No way. She storms out, and Drake gives chase. He loses her, but then hears her scream. There's a man in a gun. Drake shouts out, and there is gunfire back and forth. Drake shoots one of the goons, and there was a getaway car looking to kidnap Jada. This was no accident. Here comes Sully and Olivia. Sully is trying to help Drake, and now there is a full-blown shootout. Bullets are flying. People are freaking out. One of the goons takes Jada with the gun to her head and says if they don't give up, he is going to blow her brains out. This dude calls out Drake and Sully by name. What? Jada gets an opening as they try to open the trunk, and she tries to break free when suddenly a dark figure in a cloak and a hood comes out and slices the goon's throat with a knife. What the hell is going on? More hooded dudes come out and they lay waste to the others, and they take off after one whispers something to Jada. Jada is left standing there and safe. There's no time to talk because the cops are on their way and they need to bounce. They take off in the car together as the sirens gets closer. So this was an incredibly exciting ending to this week's chapters. I hope you guys are enjoying the story as much as I am. I am loving it. It is fun reading, it is fast reading, and it is exciting. And I am loving this story. So I hope you guys are enjoying as well. And for those of you who do not have the book and can't read along, I hope these commentaries are interesting and fun for you guys because I have fun doing it. So thanks so much for watching and listening, and we'll be back next week with chapters 10, 11, and 12. We're going to find out what happened with these crazy hooded figures. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back with more.